there is a beautiful remembrance in which you return to. The message that keeps coming through is there is a new theme that's apparent in your life, but it gets deeper than that. Because it's not just a theme, it's a scene. And you're allowing yourself to be held in this new scene of your life, recognizing it as an expression, an extension, and manifestation of the one source in which you also emerge from. You are far beyond this localized identity or role that you're playing, but you're also interconnected with everything in which you exchange your energy with. And I'm hearing the exchange is an interactive life experience, remembering that you are everything and everything is you. Now, as you move through the system with that level of coherence, you are allowing yourself to be held and received in each exchange. And I'm just seeing for you something culminate in new exchanges that will be, I'm hearing that you're going to be partaking in. Now, there were two main themes that came up that led me to this, I guess, message that we're unraveling. And the first one is an octave of magician. So the magician is known as the crow. He's also known as this manifester in this deck. So you can see him. He's moving through all of the different elements, including ether. And then this is where he, can I do it? Excuse me. Where's the crow? Anyway, he begins to shapeshift into this alternate version of self. And I can't even fully do it right now, which I don't know why. So it's almost like you are in both worlds at once. That's kind of how I see you. You're someone that's able to navigate between the form and the formlessness. And you're returning back to your formless nature before returning back to the light, right? Like Thor says, consciousness is just traveling into a new event. And that's what we call time. It's your eternal consciousness navigating itself as not just this localized vessel, but the very field that the vessel moves through. You are the very field that is holding your identity or the role which you're playing. And anyway, the message that was coming through is you're beginning to notice yourself layered in every dimension of this reality that's woven through form and feeling and interaction that's happening in your life experience. And you're not separate from the things that you're witnessing. So what I was seeing it as was the magician seeing the world through a magician's lens. And the way in which he sees the world, okay, is something that he's being held by, right? You can see life on earth is somebody being held fully in this experience. And you are the intelligence experiencing itself in infinite forms. It's one consciousness experiencing itself through many mediums. Let me go and read to you the world card in this deck. Life on Earth is probably one of the most beautiful cards there is. And it also shows a point of completion that's happening. You've evolved your worldview. And in doing so, you get to move through this world seeing it through the lens of energy. You get to see this construct for what it truly is, which is the realm of energy, and remembering yourself as an energy being. And I'm seeing there is more responsibility in this perspective that you have returned to, because there is conscious exchanges that are happening moving forward instead of just unconsciously merely interacting with the realm around you. You're able to stay anchored in this knowing as you move through the system. Fulfillment and harmony is what it talks about. Giant hands lift you up and they pulse with love so deep that you can feel it coursing through your veins. You are home when it comes to your new life on earth. When you were a young human, you often recall your previous lives before being inside of this bodily vessel. It's comforting and it inspires you. This new life is exciting for a long time, but as you grow older, you spend more time on this planet and you start to forget your old soul. So this is not just a surface level completion, but it's this sense of a deeper field of recognition that's happening, where the field is recognizing you because you're recognizing yourself as the field. When we speak about this, is infinite manifestation. So you are the opportunity, you are the scene, you are the chair, you are the couch, you are the table, you are all of it within this plasma universe. But as you grow older, you spend more time on this planet, you start to forget your old soul. It seems so far away, a different life, and this is your life now. So you adopt this world as your own, forgetting the real one behind. Until the next time around, and with great harmony, another cycle begins. So you're essentially witnessing a wonderful it's a wonderful sign. It's something that you're witnessing in your life, and it asks nothing of you but appreciation. Breathe in the air, fill in your lungs, and exhale it back into the universe. You are alive, and that is enough. And the interesting thing is that the next card in this deck talks about dream world. And dream mode is essentially a card that you can choose to keep in the deck, or it's something that you can choose to dismiss. And the energy is all about a reconnection, and it talks about a perspective shift that happens. While life on Earth can sometimes feel lackluster, there is a space where we can still dream. The dream world contains both nightmares and dreams, just like this multidimensional plane. Right? Heaven and hell are planes of consciousness. It's not an external location. It's the way that we can experience this location depending on the way in which we're perceiving it. So it offers glimpses into realities once not far from our own. You can recall this power and this place and fill your voids. Do not allow trivial circumstances to dull your vision. What if our dreams are a direct link to our past lives? And all we need is to remember that they once too were real. So some readers may opt to take the dream world out of their deck, as it's not part of the original arcana, but it's a unique addition. The choice is yours to make. So there's something in how you see your life experiences. This card, this page just fell out of the book, and it says the space between lives. So there's something around this space between different expressions of you and a new life that's wanting to be expressed in this lifetime alone. So this is another interpretation of the world card, and it talks about when these cycles are done and you've reached this point of completion, you're able to look back at your life experience from the lens of the soul, and you can stand in the center of it, right? So you are in the center of creation itself right now. And this is the way that you're perceiving your life experience. And this is someone that sees that they are the field, they are the cycle, they are also the environments, the scenes, and the themes that they've also moved through. This is the fool that goes on this whole culmination, basically reaches this culmination point of their whole life's journey. They've met all these different characters that have played vital roles in their story, and they're no longer holding on to the stories that have played out or the characters. Instead, they're seeing the experience for what it is, which are energetic exchanges and wisdom, an eternal wisdom that can be carried forth after this lifetime, after this person departs from this identity or the role in which they're playing in the world. So it mirrors that you're not just moving through scenes, you are the totality of the experiences that happened within those scenes. And when we speak about the fixed energy, so we have a bull here, we have a lion, we have the human and the eagle, and it represents all four fixed individual sovereign perspectives being held simultaneously at once. So it's also experiencing itself through these different subjective lenses. You experience yourself as the high priestess and the one also stepping into her temple and meeting her on the altar, and recognizing yourself as the altar, also experiencing the exchange that's happening between these two sovereign beings in this encounter. You also view yourself from an omnipotence, omniscience, and omnipresent kind of perspective when you recognize yourself as the temple that's holding this entire experience. And I'm just seeing that for you. There's something that you're able to zoom out, kind of like a map, and you can zoom out more and more until you see the entire universe. And at the center of that awareness of you standing in the middle of this Ouroboros, which is the cycle of death and rebirth, essentially, that happens in your life, you are fully integrated and you're fully present in those experiences. In a way where I'm hearing you're witnessing and admiring the masterpiece that is the unfoldment of your life experience and journey. Anyway, that's what I'm seeing with the world card for you. It's very much as you standing at I'm seeing an eclipsed point, which is something no longer obstructing or distorting the way that you see the whole of yourself. And then scenes in which you are being held in and that you're also able to hold yourself as you move through. It's an opening of the heart space. Let me go ahead and take a look at the energetic imprint or signature of this scene that's holding you. The scene is synchronous rotation, which is super interesting. It talks about two sides of the moon, and then you have X-rays. So the scene in which you're now moving through is actually a very interesting one, because it talks about the dark side of the moon, right? Even the moon has a dark side too. There are those that don't want to be shown, and there's those who do not want to see. This is something that you're going to be navigating. It could be unapologetically stepping into this system of unconditional love in how each and every subjective being, sovereign being, decides to experience their life on Earth, and holding space for those around you that are not yet ready to hold space for themselves just yet. So synchronous rotation talks about the two faces of the moon. Do you know where the expression of two faces of the moon comes from? Not a single day has passed, or will it ever pass, where the moon shows its other face. The gravity of one body slows the orbit of another so that it always has the same face. The far side of the moon is the one we never see from Earth. We always see the same side, as the moon rotates at the same speed as its orbit around the sun. This card warns us about the hidden, what we do not see. The interesting thing here is that it's not about a lack of vision, but about what does not wish to be seen and what does not wish to be shown. This is the scene that you're moving through, which is very, very interesting. Let's go and take a look at a clarification card for this. So you're moving through a scene in your life where you're going to recognize in the field around you, not everyone wishes to see something reflected and embodied within you, because you're mirroring what they are not yet fully ready to embrace within themselves. So I'm seeing it as you entering into a scene where you may just be someone's biggest trigger, and that could be your gift, where you're no longer mirroring the wounds of fear, but instead you're mirroring a complete different example. So I'm seeing it as contrast, yet you can stay anchored and rooted in the eye of the storm and stay at the center of all. And that's where unconditional love emerges. The card that came out for it was Binary Star. So this is something that was always transversing your path. Binary Star talks about something that's always traveled along you on your life journey. It's something that has always run parallel, yet now is the time for you to embrace this scene fully, embrace yourself fully. Stars are in harmony, for it allows you to be of service to your own soul's journey and no longer neglect something, doing something that enriches your soul's experience. Stars, the thing is, it's not that you're actively trying to disrupt those around you. That's not it. There's something that you're being called to do, and this is just one side effect of many of the impact that you're here to have. The impact could look like disruption. It also could look like a catalyst and also an informant, depending on the stage of consciousness an individual's moving through at that given point in their journey, right? So there's a mutual understanding that they share the same path. Unlike optical doubles, they do not try to change the path of the other, nor is there an illusionary union. Simply by being, they belong and respond to each other, an inevitable and harmonic dance dedicated to being. Binary stars are part of the same system and they orbit one another. It's a difficult fundamental task, but it's a common point. That's what this is. I'm just seeing it as kind of well-aligned collisions or people gravitating towards you and they're not sure why. And the thing is, repressed emotions can surface within those around you in very unconscious ways, okay? Unrepressed emotions surface in ways that could be unconscious to the one expressing them. And that's usually something that's unresolved, and it's wounds that are seeking resolution. This reminds you of a conversation. I'm not going to dive too deep into this topic because it's very much the walls dissolve when you see them differently. What this is really saying is we can recognize the state or stage of evolution that an individual is moving through at any given point in their journey, depending on the point of the brain that they're accessing. Let's peel that layer back. What that means is exaggerated emotions or responses from those around you are going to be cause for love or cause for attention. When you mirror a different example and you begin changing, and the point of reference that people have had for you begins to shift, okay, it's forced for them for it to shift because you're no longer reinforcing the same ways of being. It causes discomfort, and it's saying, hey, I'm putting conditions on you. I need you to stay this way or do this thing so that I don't feel triggered. Well, that's not for you to mirror that same wound and say, okay, I'm going to dim or reduce myself. Instead, you stand 10 toes down. You become anchored, very rooted, okay, in whom it is that you are, to the point where your state of being is not interrupted by anybody's presence nor their absence. It stays consistent. Now, as you accept somebody else's discomfort and say, hey, I'm not asking for you to change, but I'm also ready to change. And I'm going to do it. I'm not going to ask for permission. And you honor your own path, you subconsciously give others permission to do the same. So you're here to embody and model a different example, something that probably hasn't been modeled to you. And that could be breaking some kind of pattern. That's what I see. That's what your next scene is to disrupt some type of pattern, some kind of mold. I'm seeing reality bubble that maybe you're incarnated into or born into, and you're bursting that bubble. And that bubble I see is your comfort zone in some way. So I'm going to love and leave you right there. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, do consider subscribing. I'd love to have you around. Personal reading details also down below. Also check out Ultra Spirit if you're looking for some high quality AAE graded gemstones. And until next time, bye.